Thank you for joining me here this afternoon. The time is now 1:46 p.m. Central, 2:46 p.m. Eastern, and you have a live look at the beginning of a severe weather outbreak across sections of the Texas Panhandle and southwestern Oklahoma. A brand new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for Childress, Texas, mentioning the threat for a possible tornado down the line with this storm if circulation intensifies, hail up to the size of $50, and wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. This storm is currently moving off to the north and the east, riding up Highway 6283, and I've actually been watching this one for about an hour now. If we take a look at the past 30 frames, we can see that this thing exploded in intensity, originating near the Crosbyton, Texas area, and again now has made its way up towards Childress, Texas, and is becoming very close to the Texas-Oklahoma state line here. So again, today we are expecting the potential for a severe weather outbreak to bring the threat of damaging winds, large hail, and even a couple of tornadoes, specifically across the southeastern portion of the Texas Panhandle and far southwestern Oklahoma. A mesoscale discussion has been issued for those areas, mentioning the potential for a severe thunderstorm watch to be issued between now and the next couple of hours. So we'll see if that does get issued, but this is our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day, and actually right now, Stormwater Media above my head has a great view of that storm. As you can see, they are chasing that thing down. I mean, it is pitch black out there right now, and it is in the middle of day. So again, a very intense line of severe thunderstorms here that does have some broad rotation embedded in it at times. So again, we are going to watch for a potential tornado spin up for this. This is a cold core tornado setup. It's a pretty classic one at that. We've got ourselves a very limited amount of CAPE, but it doesn't really matter. We've got ourselves a slight risk of severe weather across sections of southwest Oklahoma and northwest Texas, as well as the eastern section of the Texas Panhandle here. This is driven by a 5% tornado risk and a 15% wind risk here for those areas. We also do have a slight risk of severe weather tomorrow that actually looks to be a little bit more concerning, and I would not be surprised to see this get upgraded to an enhanced risk for a wind threat. But as of right now, we do have that 5% tornado risk going across sections of north central Texas and south central Oklahoma, and then that wind risk of 15% chance of damaging winds of 60 miles an hour or higher within 25 miles of any given point. Spans all the way from sections of extreme southeast Kansas back through the DFW Metroplex, and then we also could be talking about a few instances of isolated large hail as well across sections of the southern plains. Now, after that, we're going to be talking about Tuesday, the big day that we have been forecasting for a while now. We do have a new Storm Prediction Center outlook for that day, actually. It has been left at an enhanced risk of severe weather for now, as this event actually does look to be downtrending, especially in terms of CAPE value. We're going to be maxing out at 1,000 joules per kilogram of surface-based CAPE, which, if you don't know, typically we're looking at about 1,500 needed to produce significant tornadoes. So again, we're going to have to expect this to still be a significant severe weather threat, because there are several ways that we could still see this pop off. If we do see any discrete cells pop out ahead of our line, especially in those areas where we do have those slightly elevated CAPE values up to 1,000, or if the CAPE values uptrend, we could be talking about an isolated significant tornado somewhere in this blue circle, I would say. The further north you go, the less likely that becomes. However, a significant damaging wind threat will still be in place, which is why this enhanced risk of severe weather remains in effect across sections of southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and southern as well as central Mississippi here. This includes over 3.5 million people. That slight risk going all the way back into sections of Missouri, as we're going to be talking about another classic little cold core tornado threat up here into sections of extreme southwest Iowa, southeast Nebraska, areas in eastern Kansas and western Missouri. A brief tornado or damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour cannot be ruled out, but again, obviously our much greater threat for significant damaging winds and possible tornadoes even is going to come down here into Dixie Alley. Now, after that, we go into Wednesday. Again, we're going to have ourselves another slight risk of severe weather for the remnants of this event, but at this point, it's likely just going to be a big-time windbag. They have that slight risk going all the way into southern New Jersey, which I must admit is quite a shock, considering we are going to have very little instability up in that neck of the woods, but I would not be surprised to see an isolated tornado or two and some significant damaging winds down in the Carolinas and Georgia, that's for sure. So, again, we've got ourselves quite the few days ahead of us. Expect live streams on this channel every single day as we go into this active stretch of weather. Again, starting with today, where we have this risk of severe weather across sections of southwest Oklahoma and northeastern Texas Panhandle. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Again, right now we are watching a severe thunderstorm move through Childress, Texas. This storm is going to have the potential to intensify further as it continues to push off towards the east-northeast. So areas like Altus, Vernon, Texas, Quanah, and Magnum, Oklahoma, make sure that you are preparing to move indoors if necessary. Again, if you are in Childress, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows, as this storm is likely producing large to very large hail. Again, above my head right now, you actually have a live look at that storm from Storm Hunter Media. They are in this storm right now. They position themselves very well for this event, and they are currently intercepting what could be one of the biggest storms of the day. So again, make sure to keep a close eye on that, because that is where we're going to see if anything significant happens with this storm. Again, for the most part, we're mainly just talking about heavy rain, lightning, hail, and wind. However, that could certainly change over the next several minutes. So again, how's everybody doing today? I do want to quickly thank you, Bike, for becoming a Slight Risk member for 1 month. Greatly appreciated. If you do want to become a member, make sure to do so by clicking the button next to the chat box. You get access to exclusive content. But yeah, how is everybody doing today? Let me go ahead and share this out on social media, and we should be good to go. So again, this storm right now is about to cross Highway 287 near the Childress, Texas area. Again, this is likely going to intensify further, as this is the main area where we actually are going to be watching for a significant severe weather threat. We've got a few supercells down to the south that are trying to congeal into a line as well and do something similar. However, we're not quite seeing that same level of intensity out of those, as they haven't undergone mergers properly quite yet. We actually do have a cam down by Abilene, Texas here that gives us a live look from the downtown area, and we can see that it is very windy out there. However, we're not really talking about any sort of severe weather threat that far down to the south. However, we could still be looking at some heavy rain, lightning, and gusty winds at times, right? So, again, the main storm that we are watching right now is near Childress, Texas. This is a good idea of what the radar could look like over the next several hours. Again, right now we're dealing with those thunderstorms developing across sections of the eastern Texas Panhandle, northwestern Texas, and then a big old band of rain here across sections of southwestern Oklahoma. This big old band of rain is not going to end up bringing any sort of severe weather threat. However, it could end up bringing some localized street flooding for any areas that do get caught under that for too long. So if you are back there, maybe in like the Oklahoma Panhandle or even the northern Texas Panhandle, do be on the lookout for some potential isolated street flooding. By 3 p.m., we're going to be talking about a brief threat of some damaging winds and maybe even an isolated large hailstone back down through sections of northwestern Texas, as we are still going to have a few more discrete supercells back behind our line, which is not something that you usually hear me say. By 4 p.m., I think the threat kind of peaks. Again, we're mainly going to be talking about a damaging wind threat, but a couple of tornadoes cannot be ruled out, especially across sections of southwestern Oklahoma, and that will continue to push off to the east. Again, mainly just becoming a big-time rain threat. By 7 p.m. tonight, we still could be dealing with some gusty winds. Again, look at this big old band of rain here, though, extending all the way from the Kansas-Oklahoma state line back through sections of central Texas, and this is eventually going to turn into a big old rain batch here for sections of Arkansas and Louisiana. But again, as we go into tomorrow, we are going to be watching for a little bit more of a significant severe weather threat across sections of North Texas and Oklahoma. Look at this. By 8 p.m., the HRRR model here already likes the idea of some discrete supercells developing across parts of North Texas, but the bigger threat will get going in the late nighttime hours, where a big time line of damaging winds can be expected all the way from sections of Kansas back through northern Texas. And again, further down to the south there, where any of these supercells do manage to become discrete, we cannot rule out an isolated tornado really late into the nighttime hours of tomorrow into early Tuesday. And then again, obviously Tuesday is going to have its own event as well. What's going on? Phoenix, Airborne, Sam, Rango, Indiana, Kevin. How's it going, everybody? Again, great to see everybody back here once again. Again, make sure to keep a close eye on the camera above my head there. That is a live look from Storm Hunter Media. They have given us permission to use their feed this stream. Again, they're intercepting this severe thunderstorm over Childress, Texas at the moment that is currently producing some damaging winds and large to very large hail, and actually could produce a brief land spout or something within the next several minutes as well. So again, if you are out here in this area, make sure that you are taking this very seriously. Make sure you're getting indoors and away from windows. If you do have time out ahead of these storms, if you do have a car outside, maybe bring that into the garage, because again, we are talking about a pretty significant hail core, especially south of Childress, Texas. However, for Storm Hunter Media, they're not going to want to intercept that. They're going to want to have the greater chance of going for somewhat of a tornado threat, which does look to be developing with some broad rotation off to the west of Childress at the moment. However, it is not likely that that is going to be able to sustain itself for enough time to produce a tornado unless we undergo a cell merger or something, of which it looks like there's not many left in this area. Now, we did just get a new special weather statement for one of our southern cells here near Crawwell, Texas. This is going to be a special weather statement mentioning the threat for 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts and some nickel-sized hail. If this storm does undergo one or two more mergers, it certainly could become severe, and it definitely has the potential to do so with any of these storms surrounding it. So we may have to watch for this storm to receive a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, if you are out here southwest of Crawwell in the Ford City area, make sure you are moving indoors immediately. But again, our much larger threat at the moment comes with our Childress storm. I would like to note this sucker is producing quite a bit of lightning here. So again, this could be a sign of some intensification with this thunderstorm, but it is a little bit too early to tell here. But yeah. So again, how's everybody doing today? Good to see the usual crowd back in here once again. Hey, Alan with the $10 donation. Thank you very much, Alan. W Storm Hunter Media, yes, for sure. Again, we are very grateful for Storm Hunter Media as they have allowed us to use their feed for our future streams here. And in situations like this, we've got actually something developing there. Looks mainly like a lowering, but we actually could have some sort of funnel cloud developing. So again, keep a very close eye on that. Thank you very much, Alan, for the $10 donation. You have been unbelievably helpful for the channel here. So again, I really do greatly appreciate that. But Storm Hunter Media actually has something trying to go down there. Again, as of right now, it looks like a very weak, wispy funnel, or maybe even just some scud, but looks somewhat concerning. What's up, Levi? So again, if you are in this area, make sure that you are staying safe, because it does look like we could have a funnel cloud associated with this storm here. Again, keep an eye on Storm Hunter Media's feed, because I have a feeling that's not going to be the last time that we're worried about something on there. I mean, they are literally the only people on this storm right now. I don't even think Reed Timmer's on this one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but again, right now on the west side of Childress, Texas, we may have a potential funnel cloud developing. Again, broad rotation with this cell here, so it would not be too shocking to see that happen again. Again, it looks like it has dissipated for the time being, though. Again, huge thank you to Alan for the $10 donation. Okay. So again, we actually could be talking about a landspout or even a brief fully condensed tornado somewhere west of Childress here over the next several minutes if that kind of happens again. Again, we definitely did have some sort of brief funnel cloud there on the Storm Hunter Media stream. It looks like I've missed the worst of it, but we saw a little wispy guy poking out from the clouds there for a few seconds. We actually do have some rotation developing southeast of Childress, Texas here. Could be somewhat hail contaminated, though, it looks like, so we'll see what happens with that. Again, none of our other cells are rotating at the moment. Again, this is the only storm that we have that currently has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. Again, soon this is going to be making its way across the Red River. It's going to be crossing into Oklahoma very shortly. Again, right now over Childress, Texas, actually quite slow moving here, so we may end up seeing a flash flood warning for Childress getting issued or something if this storm does sit over this region long enough, because again, it is only moving off to the northeast at about 45 miles an hour. At this point, probably even slower than that, so Reed is on the storm, okay. Can Houston get rain tomorrow or Tuesday? Houston is probably going to be more of a Tuesday thing to watch out for, but you're definitely going to get in on some rain, maybe even some thunderstorms, and we actually do have some decent Cape values down in portions of southeastern Texas, so we could end up talking about some stronger thunderstorms down there in the Houston metro early Tuesday. So again, make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you do get notified whenever we do go live for Tuesday's event. But the good news is we're mainly going to be talking about a severe weather threat remaining off to your east. We're not really watching for severe weather in Houston. Again, actually quite concerned about that very brief funnel cloud that we had there near Childress, Texas briefly. If you are just now tuning in, we could have a tornado warning here issued for this storm any minute if that does happen again. It all comes down to the warning office, but some of them, as soon as a funnel cloud starts to develop, they issue a tornado warning straight away. Will Albany, Georgia get anything? Yes, certainly. Yeah, so Albany, Georgia is going to be something that we're kind of watching out for late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. It's kind of in that awkward position where, again, we're mainly just going to be talking about a big-time damaging wind threat. However, we could definitely see an embedded tornado in our line of storms if they do persist long enough of that intensity into southwestern Georgia. So Albany mainly going to be watching out for some damaging winds, but yes, you certainly will end up seeing some thunderstorms at the very least. So again, very clear signature of some rotation there off to the southwest of Childress, Texas. Again, a brief funnel cloud. Again, likely some rotation developing off to the south as well. Again, very, very interesting feed that Storm Runner Media has there. Again, a brief funnel cloud appearance quite early on into this cell's lifetime here. And this is going to continue, obviously, to push off to the east-northeast. What's up, Sea Wolf Lover? And we do have a new Storm Prediction Center outlook, actually, for today, but it is virtually the same exact thing that we already had, so we're not going to go too in-depth there, but we do have that slight risk expanded a little bit. But outside of that, nothing changed. The mesoscale discussion that is currently in effect for sections of southwest Oklahoma, northwest Texas, and eastern sections of the Texas Panhandle. This is what that looks like at the moment. Again, we're talking about a couple of isolated tornadoes with any of those discrete supercells behind our big rain batch. Again, some damaging winds of 55 to 70 miles an hour being possible, and hail up to golf ball size. I actually think that hail could end up being the main threat for today, especially based off of what we're already seeing with our current supercells. So again, if you are out here in this area, don't be surprised if we do end up seeing a severe thunderstorm watch getting issued within the next couple of hours or so, even maybe as soon as 30 minutes or so, if these cells do manage to become strong enough and undergo enough mergers to become tornadic. How is Foxworth, Mississippi looking for Tuesday? Foxworth, Mississippi. We've definitely looked at that area before. Yeah, so we're mainly going to be talking about a big-time damaging wind threat. However, we definitely cannot rule out a QLCS tornado embedded in that line of storms there, so make sure that you do have multiple ways to receive alerts. There's also a good chance that we're going to be talking about it being a nocturnal threat, so make sure that those ways of alerts are going to wake you up. It can't just be, a little notification on your phone. It has to be loud and it has to be obnoxious, because we could definitely end up seeing a brief tornado in the Foxworth, Mississippi region. Again, obviously that area had a Columbia, Tennessee tornado, or a Columbia, Mississippi tornado very recently, but we definitely can't rule out a brief tornado if the line of storms does make its way through sections of southern Mississippi. But based off of the latest NAM guidance and even from the GFS, it looks like we're mainly going to be talking about this line remaining off to the north of that region. So again, we certainly could be talking about some rain, lightning, wind, and maybe a brief tornado. However, things don't look to be too significant for that region, but some changes in the forecast definitely will be made before everything goes down. So again, make sure to have multiple ways to receive alerts. Again, here's our cold core tornado setup here on Tuesday for sections of Kansas and Missouri. We definitely can't rule out a brief tornado with any of those little supercells there in southeastern Kansas or western Missouri that do try to get going. So again, we will be on the lookout for that as well. We did not mean to do MRMS. Okay. Yeah, there's been so many back and forth, Sam, that at this point, I'm not even going to give an opinion on whether it'll go moderate or not again. This is such a weird, we had a day 6 enhanced risk of severe weather seemingly out of nowhere. Sure, we had very potent soundings being grabbed from sections of Dixie Alley, but usually whenever we get that day 6 enhanced risk or later, that is a sign that something serious is about to go down. It's not, oh, we're going to see a typical Dixie windbag like this event's likely going to be. Usually, that's indicative of a big-time, full-scale tornado outbreak. So we'll see. Again, it has downtrended since then, obviously, so, you can't just flame the SPC for not being able to predict the future, but By the way, that does cross off our first spot on the 2025 Severe Weather Bingo card. A day 6 or later enhanced risk. We crossed the first spot off in February, chat. I don't think it's going to be too hard for us to get a bingo this year if things continue like that. Wow, look at that hail core. So again, some significant hail developing with our storm near Childress, Texas. Again, if you have a vehicle outside or anything, make sure to bring that into the garage if possible. If you have any outdoor pets, make sure to bring them indoors. This storm is currently crossing Highway 287, so if you know anybody that may be traveling in between Childress and Kirkland along 287 here in the Texas Panhandle, make sure to send them this stream because this actually is looking like a pretty significant hail threat for that area. Additionally, our southern cell here looks to potentially be trying to develop some sort of hook feature there. It's very, very light, and it could just be the general shape of the storm, but we'll see. It kind of underwent a merger, so we definitely could end up seeing something try to get going there. But again, obviously the main thing that we're watching is still the Childress storm here against Storm Media on the ground with this one. Had a funnel cloud on it earlier. Now we're mainly just talking about some wind, hail. Again, there's the Storm Prediction Center outlook there, the update. Again, virtually the same thing that we had before. And we actually did just get an extension for that severe thunderstorm warning there into the Texas-Oklahoma state line with our Childress storm. So that puts us up to 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, it's the same storm, but it is now moving into sections of southwestern Oklahoma. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning going out for Lincoln, Lewis, a lot of these very rural areas in between El Dorado and Childress. So again, quarter-sized hail, some 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. I'm very surprised that they did not put the hail tag a little bit higher than that. It is actually 2 different National Weather Service offices here. We do have the National Weather Service in Norman operating under that severe thunderstorm warning, and then Lubbock, Texas for this one. So, again, we'll see if Lubbock extends the severe thunderstorm warning because this expires in 37 minutes, and it's a little iffy if this storm will still be in that National Weather Service office between now and then. So we'll see if they reissue that here in the next 20 minutes or so. Again, our storm closer to Crowell actually is quite discreet, and it certainly is developing some sort of hook echo at this point. Again, underwent a couple of mergers there. And this is going to cross Highway 70 soon, so if you are in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors. Again, Storm Media punching through that hail core right now, playing a very dangerous game. It actually looks like you can see some of that hail falling there. Can we turn the sound on? Yeah, we got some hail falling on the Storm Media stream. Wow. Look at that. Again, this is a live look from Childress, Texas, with a significant hailstorm crossing the Highway 287 area. Again, I mean, this is some large hail, guys. Wow. Dude, this is amazing. Again, huge thank you for to Storm Media for allowing us to use their feed for this live stream. Looks like we're starting to lose signal here. This is obviously a very patchy area. Again, we're going to continue to watch that because they are punching through that hail core, and they're going to be for a while. So, look at that. This is beautiful. This is Storm Media. Alright, so our discrete cell further off to the south near Crowell is continuing to develop a more defined hook echo here, I guess you could say. So again, we'll see what this cell tries to do, but I would not be surprised to see this kick off with a severe thunderstorm warning here with the tornado possible tag or something in the next several minutes. There we go. We got a bit of a clearer view now. Definitely some hail there falling. Wow. Yeah, this is a beautiful storm here. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Again, this is a beautiful storm. What's up, Angie? Wow. And that is an incredible look at that storm there. We'll see. Again, I'm almost more concerned at this point about our southern cell approaching the Crowell area. Again, at this point, a severe thunderstorm watch will likely be issued within the next 30 minutes or so for areas of the Texas Panhandle, northwestern Texas, and maybe extreme southwest Oklahoma as these cells continue to fire. We've also got a cluster of cells trying to develop near Clarendon, Texas. Now, obviously, right now, these are nothing crazy, but they are starting to produce lightning. If they do merge together, we could be talking about a group of stronger thunderstorms here. So, again, if you are out ahead of these, make sure to stay weather aware. Okay. So, again, still not showing any signs of significant rotation at the moment. However, that could definitely change if we see this undergo one or two more mergers. Again, this isn't quite a favorable environment. I mean, this is definitely not lacking too much whenever it comes to a severe weather potential. What are they doing? Why are we driving into the ditch here? What is that? We got a little lowering here appearing on the Storm and Media feed once again, it looks like. Severe watch issued? Alright, we now have a severe thunderstorm watch. It's not popping up yet. Give me just a sec. Okay. Let me get a post out on X. We do now have a severe thunderstorm watch issued for this area if you are just now tuning in. Let's see if I can pull this up on Twitter. Usually it pops up on there first. And there it is. Okay. So, we now have a severe thunderstorm watch for sections of northwestern Texas and southwestern Oklahoma, as we were literally just mentioning. This specifies the threat for a couple of brief tornadoes, scattered hail up to ping-pong ball size. I would not be surprised to see a little bit larger than that. Then isolated gusts up to 70 miles an hour possible as well. This is in effect until 7 p.m. This includes everywhere from Elk City, Oklahoma, back down towards Wichita Falls, Texas, and rural counties in northwestern Texas here. This includes nearly 400,000 people. So again, if you do know anybody in this area, make sure to give them a heads up. Again, this is really our first severe weather event of the year in the Texas Panhandle. But a severe thunderstorm watch now in effect.
Blue camera works, but
okay.
Looks like it's gonna catch just east of Quanah, Texas.
Again, beautiful view here from Storm Media.
It is not.
And a clear hook echo trying to develop with our Crowell cell at this point. Again, it's not crazy yet, but I'm telling you right now that if this undergoes a cell merger, this gets scary quick. And there's that severe thunderstorm watch on Radar Omega.
Closer to El Dorado.
Bike, you renewed your membership, which is why we threw you on there. So again, thank you very much for that. Again, we got some deviant motion there in the clouds. Look at all that rising air. Just try to hear what they're saying. Max velocity's dead, huh? Okay.
I'm getting smacked by hail now. Oh, there goes Dom 3.
Wow. Look at that hail falling. Look at that sign over there.
We gotta go.
These are getting blown around. Look at that yield sign. I don't know if you could see that on your screen, but watch this yield sign, guys. Shoot. Now it's not... Oh, yeah. Dang it. The second you can see it. Look at that. It's shaking around. Look at all that hail accumulating on the roads as well. Again, this is a large hailstorm, guys. Wow. Look at that incredible hail. Oh my goodness. That is accumulating all over the roads. Holy cow.
Okay, now I have control.
Wow. Look at that. Okay, again, we gotta kind of stay focused in on our southern cell here because it is very evidently becoming strong quite quickly. Again, that is approaching Crowell, Texas, but it's likely actually going to go closer to Quanah and Chillicothe. Now, here's the best case scenario. We see this line of storms here that we've been watching for a while, as it is moving a little bit slower than this cell, which is punching to the north. We could see these potentially merge together and weaken each other both, but we did just get a severe thunderstorm warning for that cell for Crowell. So, new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Crowell, Texas, and surrounding areas. If you're in this area, make sure that you're moving indoors immediately. We're talking about the threat for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. This includes sections of Highway 70. This includes the west of Chillicothe area. Again, this is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. They did not put the tornado possible tag on it, surprisingly. But that is our new cell. So again, if you know anybody in this area, make sure to let them know what's going on. Again, mainly concerned about this northern storm still, because it's much more developed. Alrighty. Okay. So again, nothing definitive yet with our southern storm. Unfortunately, we've got everybody out here on our Childress storm, which at this point, Childress is fine. This has moved all east of Childress. Again, we're going to be talking about the Highway 287 corridor areas in rural southwest Oklahoma out ahead of this thing. Again, this is honestly an interesting start to the day. Because again, guys, we are just getting going here. These are the first severe thunderstorm warnings of the day. Again, look at that beautiful structure on this thing. Clear wall cloud that we're right ahead of. Wow. Holy cow. Again, this is a beautiful storm, if nothing else. Again, also likely producing large to very large hail. Again, we saw storm media punching through that thing, and it was quite intense. Again, this is over Kirkland, Texas at the moment. Really just watching that cell, and then our cell further down to the south near the Crowell area. Again, we've got a cam down by Abilene, mainly just watching for some wind down there again. Not really talking about a severe weather threat this far down to the south, but definitely some gusty showers going to be possible. By the way, and we have not even mentioned this yet on the channel, but we have a day 2 extreme wildfire risk. Now, that is the highest level on the wildfire scale there from the Storm Prediction Center. The last time we had this was for the SoCal wildfires. So again, we're going to be talking about a significant wildfire threat tomorrow across eastern New Mexico. Again, we've got ourselves extremely dry conditions and very strong winds as well. We're going to be talking about gusts up to 70 miles an hour and higher elevations. So again, if you are out here, please avoid burning at all possible. I mean, you've got to be so careful out here because this is the kind of environment that, again, will explode if you do, the littlest thing wrong. So please, please stay safe. And that goes, for everybody out here in the Southern Rockies tomorrow. Again, I mean, we've got an elevated risk that goes all the way from Oklahoma City back down through, say, Colorado Springs. So again, if you are out here, avoid burning if at all possible. I mean, this is really quite interesting to see. It's not too often we get a day 2 extreme wildfire risk from the SPC. Again, still a significant hail core trying to develop here with our southern cell, and a clear hail spike actually now off to the west of Krull. Look at that. So if you're not aware of what's happening here, I mean, I've explained this probably 38,000 times, but just for everybody that's new, what's happening here is the radar is trying to penetrate through this hail core. It's trying to poke through this storm and bring us back our data, but this hail is so dense and thick that it kind of blocks our signal beam, and it creates this weird effect on the end of the storm that we like to call a hail spike. That usually appears whenever we are talking about a very significant hailstorm, so... Again, if you're out here in this area, please be careful. Again, it looks like hail, again, is going to be the biggest threat today. I mean, we said it earlier, but it looks to be the truth. Krull cell could easily produce. It's going to need to undergo a merger or something, but yeah, I'd agree. So again, Storm Media getting out ahead of our storm here right now. Again, they are along Highway 287. Are they going for the southern storm, maybe? Are they going to try and intercept that in Quanah? Again, still watching these Texas Panhandle cells for some gusty winds and lightning. But, again, mainly watching the Red River at this point, so... we did actually get a quarter-size hail report from Kirkland, Texas. This is reported by the public, but again, we saw it on Storm Media's feed. We know it's there. Holy cow, dude. Look at that. That is a beautiful wall cloud. I mean, these are incredibly photogenic supercells that we're seeing today. I'm taking a picture of that. I mean, that is beautiful. And that is just beautiful. You see those rain shafts there? Wow. Keep getting texts. Let's go on D&D. By the way, we are going to give some memberships later this stream, so make sure to stay tuned. Again, look at that hail spike becoming nice and sharp. And I mean, this is a huge hailstorm northwest of Krull. Again, I mean, it is a blip watch. This is a blip type severe thunderstorm watch. It's really going to be all these little different cells that try and do something. But only one or two of them is really going to impress us. But those ones that impress us are likely going to be quite significant. It's actually Mr. Storm that's texting me. Again, make sure to subscribe if you're not already. We now have a golf ball-sized hail tag for our southern storm. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you're moving indoors and away from windows. Again, this is a significant hailstorm over Krull, Texas. Radar indicated, but you can clearly see that there. The storm is producing large hail. Seek shelter now inside a sturdy structure and stay away from windows. If you have any pets outside, bring them inside. Again, this is the kind of hailstorm that we don't usually see this early in the season. I mean, that is quite impressive. Again, this is just northwest of Krull, Texas. This is going to be approaching Chillicothe. It's also going to make this impossible to see if there's any rotation with this storm. So, wow. I mean, that is, again, just a crazy hail spike. Again, I still can't believe we had that funnel cloud so clearly on Storm Media's stream earlier. I mean, that really looked like it was going to try and do something for a little bit. But, again, I mean, extremely contaminated velocities at this point, so we're not going to see if this is going to produce anything in the near future, as long as this hail core remains intact. Holy crap. Again, it's looking like what I said is about to happen here. We're likely going to see this line swallow up our cell. So hopefully we'll see that kind of weaken both of them. But that's going to be a little while before that happens. Again, Quanah, Texas. I mean, that is going to be the area where these storms meet up, if nowhere else. Yeah, Vincent, Storm Intermediate had it as well. We had a very clear funnel cloud. And this is a live look from Storm Intermediate. They are out ahead of our storm now. Likely going to stop here near Quanah and try to intercept both of these storms. I mean, again, they are both heading that way. I get a bullseye right now over the what county would that be? Oh, what would it be? Hardman County region. Holy cow. I mean, look at that. Look at that sky. I mean, this looks like the end days. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, these are beautiful storms, to say the least. Some of the more photogenic ones that we've seen in 2025 thus far. Again, these are going to be pushing into southwest Oklahoma here over the next several minutes, so... again, a severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect until 7 p.m. Yeah, special weather statement in California, chalky. That is another thing to mention. We do have some stronger thunderstorms ongoing in sections of central California, but not going to be the main thing that we're watching today. I love how I zoom around so much. Again, way too contaminated to see if we have any rotation with our southern cell at this point. Again, I can't stop looking at Storm Intermediate's feed, but, I mean, that is beautiful. And they're approaching the Quanah, Texas region right now. Getting golf ball sized hail tag with this southern storm, and I believe it, honestly. Hey, Blaine with the $1 donation. Thank you very much for super chat. Greatly appreciated. Make sure to spam those W's down below for Blaine. Again, that does help me out a lot and lets me know that this is going to be a career option for me in the future. So, again, I do greatly appreciate all donations, but if you can't donate, I completely understand. Liking and subscribing helps just as much, just in a different way. But huge shout out to those that go above and beyond and do decide to donate, like Blaine there. Again, Blaine, Bike, and Allen throwing on the dono board today. So again, huge thing to Blaine. There are some W Blaines in the chat. Again, huge shout out to Alan as well for being a W every single stream. Yeah, this is going to stabilize the environment out here in sections of western Oklahoma and north central Texas. Again, that's why we don't see that slight risk going further out. Otherwise, we actually could be talking about a somewhat significant risk for severe weather today, as these storms would have a further environment to take advantage of. But this big old batch of rain here is going to stabilize this environment and ultimately kill our storms off by the time that they reach this area, which is why our slight risk and our severe thunderstorm watch only goes so far. Again, kind of surprised that they even chose to include these counties here. And really anywhere east of, say, Vernon is going to have a lowered severe weather potential. East of Elk City, east of Altus. That's where we're likely going to see all these storms start to taper off, no pun intended. I just have to throw that out there because I already know what's going to happen if I don't. Personally, I'm going to say today, Mr. Storm, but I think today is more impressive from a tornadic standpoint. If you want to talk about damaging winds, though, tomorrow night definitely going to be quite a bit crazier. Again, I would not be surprised to see some isolated significant gusts of 70 to 80 miles an hour across especially sections of Oklahoma and North Texas. And again, I'm honestly losing confidence in Tuesday and Wednesday. Similar to our February events that just busted. I mean, I'm not saying that this is going to be one of those, but it looks like it has the potential to be. And let's hope it does. At the very least, though, we are going to be talking about significant damaging winds, as always, so again, make sure to have a severe weather action plan in place if you are down here in Dixie Alley later this week. Again, Tuesday is going to be the big day for Dixie, and then we'll be watching the East Coast on Wednesday. Again, this is a live look from Storm Radar Media. On the surface, earlier they did have a funnel cloud with our northern storm. Again, this southern storm here is likely going to need a merger or something to produce, because it's not showing any signs so far. However, we do have that incoming here, it looks like, so we'll see. Okay. So, new radar scan, pretty much saying the same stuff that we've already been saying. Yeah, the upper Midwest actually is going to be a pretty hot spot for a big-time winter storm threat here over the next little while. Again, this region honestly hasn't had the craziest winter. We've been talking about Gulf Coast storms, but not too much for the upper Midwest. But that looks to change here as we go into March. Alright, our severe thunderstorm warning has been condensed. No longer includes Crowell, Texas. But still includes areas to the north like Medicine Mound and the Highway 6 corridor. I don't think Freddy's live yet. We'll honestly probably keep Storm Radar Media up anyway. Just because it's less work and everybody's going to be going after the same storms today because there's only so many of them. And make sure to like the stream if you've not already. Let's see if we can hit 50 likes today. We're at 39 at the moment. But again, Storm Radar Media right now in Quanah, Texas, as we were saying. It's going good, Mr. Twister. It is going well. A special weather statement has been issued for northern storm. Wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, pea-sized hail. Basically just the northern extent of our line here. So again, that's going out for areas like Dodson and Wellington. Yeah, Samuel, that is actually going to be probably our target zone for Tuesday. We're going to be talking about significant damaging winds and some brief QLCS tornadoes, so make sure to have a tornado action plan in place in the Jackson and Vicksburg, Mississippi regions. Again, I'm actually putting my main threat for tornadoes a little bit further to the west. I've been saying this for a while, and I'm going to say it again. Northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, that's my target zone. I think by the time we get to Mississippi, we definitely could see some QLCS tornadoes, but I think it's mainly just going to be a windbag. So... yeah, no problem. National Weather Service, KI5CIF. No, I did not mean to pin that. No. Dang it. Shoot. I just unpinned my other message. It's unfortunate. I'm surprised you've got people to go to random streamers' chats considering all the layoffs and the firings. Did Tuesday go hatched on the new Outlook? It certainly did. And the interesting thing about this one is you may straight away think, oh, that means 10% hatch tornado risk, right? Well, probably not, because this encompasses portions of our slight risk, which obviously you can't have a 10% hatch tornado threat in your slight risk. So I honestly think that it's probably a 30% hatch wind threat. Now, that's not to say we couldn't have a 10% hatch tor threat inside of there, but that's obviously not the main thing driving this, it looks like. So, again, looking quite concerning here for Tuesday still, but again, likely going to downtrend one or two more times, based off of what we've been saying. I mean, we don't even have 1,000 cape anymore out here, guys. It's Jover. Thank you, Twister. Bro, what is with all the trolls today? I don't think we've dealt with this many since the summer. Already had to time out like 15 different people. Pretty sure it's just the same person, though, over and over again. So again, I know this looks like a really nasty supercell, but this is actually just a merger. But somebody that opens up Radar and sees this is probably going to freak out. Hey, Alan with the $2 donation. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you to all the mods, including Alan, for keeping things under control whenever we do have trolls like this. But everybody throw W Alan in the chat for that $2 donation. Thank you very much, Alan. Greatly appreciated. Again, I don't even understand. Like, you have honestly been one of the most helpful people for this channel. Again, thank you for always being encouraging, and again, all the donations, amazing. Thank you very much. Great support. W. Allen. Yeah, legendary voice crack every time, bro. Again, Stormrunner Media's Camping Quana. I had another one. Go ahead and say it. They've been bad lately, guys. I mean, I've dealt with horrible voice cracks for probably the past 6 months, but the last week or so, I mean, it has been horrendous, which is good because I haven't been filming or streaming as much. But for parts of the Gerald video, literally 2 voice cracks in 1 sentence. I mean, it's bad. Again, obviously very devious looking here, but it is just a cell merger on our Southern Storm, so it's not a hook echo or anything. No need to panic. Again, hail threat's even dying off with it. They punch south fast. Holy cow. What a structure. Let's see, can we get their audio on? Oh, would you look at that? National Weather Service in Norman, Oklahoma joined 40 seconds ago. Thank you, Twister. And they're about to have to punch through another hail core. We did get a new severe thunderstorm warning for this storm, as again, it is moving very slowly. The northern storm, that is. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Make sure you're moving indoors. Basically the same area. Again, it's just because the warning was going to expire shortly. We do have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings now. Even though it is literally just two different storms. Yeah, it's what we're saying, Kevin. It's a fake hook. Again, just a big old cell merger there. Makes it look pretty ominous. But I'll tell you what, if this was legit, I mean, that's an impressive little supercell for a slight risk day. For a random cold core setup in northwest Texas. That wall cloud indeed. Again, guys, we'll bring up the Stormer Media stream full screen every now and then whenever something impressive's happening, but he's always going to be above my head, so. And a huge thing to them for allowing me to use their stream, or their feed for the stream. Is that another lowering?
I feel like I thought I was in front of you.
What is going on?
Yeah, I must be.
We may have some sort of scuddy feature happening. That looks like a lowering, though.
Yeah, okay. So radar-wise, it doesn't make sense, but visually, I don't see where else this base would be.
We may have some sort of funnel trying to develop here. They certainly are, Kevin. I mean, they've been pushing through all the crappy environmental features today.
The same was rotating like crazy.
Jesse, how's it going? It's been a while. Yeah, it looks like it's dissipating there. It's trying to poke something. It is trying to do something. What is going on?
But suddenly, it just doesn't really look as favorable right now. There for a second, it really just, there was like definitely a brief funnel.
Definitely a brief funnel. That's the quote we got. I mean, you see something going on there. That's without a doubt.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
I mean, it's a beautiful storm.
I still see rotation in there.
Yeah,
Okay, there's a road up here.
we're gonna see
probably
something
about a
here.
mile. I'm gonna stop on. I'm gonna point at this thing. That's got to be what I mean. I see motion in that. That's got to be what people are talking about. I should get out and just stop that. But I want to stop on this side road.
Again, I just want to stay full screen on this stream here. I'm sorry if it's annoying, but I mean, this is the best thing we have to look at. There's nothing better than surface observations, obviously. The radar just helps.
Look behind me here.
Oh gosh, look at how dark that is. Wow, look at that. And usually in situations like this, it's actually a lot darker than what the camera even shows. Alright. We're now down to 2 severe thunderstorm warnings.
So that's the only thing that we're really missing. I think that once that tree cave does jump up, we'll probably produce.
Donnie Miller, how's it going? We've now been live for officially an hour. And I don't see any signs of us ending soon. Again, this line looks to continue going again. It's going to merge here with our supercell, as we've been saying for a while, so we'll see what happens with that. But, again, Stormwater Media,
More favorable
going to turn around
energy
here, it looks
slightly
like.
displaced west of this convection right now.
We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Quanah, Texas for that cell. So again, if you're in that area, make sure moving indoors, quarter-size tail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Same cell we've been watching. Back up to 3 now, as soon as I change it every time. I wish I could get it to be automatic. Okay, so again, this cell is continuing to push northward, gradually weakening in terms of its tail core, it looks like.
It's just gonna
Stormer Media is just sitting there, so we'll see what they're doing. Again, I mean, this is such a localized event. We've literally been watching like 5 counties all hour. Not even, like 2 counties. Okay. Tor possible tag exists on the southern warning, but the new one has not been given it, so
Spin up above.
likely the National Weather Service isn't too worried about this producing at this point. Again, likely just going to enhance a wind threat if this were to merge. But we'll see. Again, I mean, if nothing else, the word to describe this event is interesting. We've had funnel clouds, we've had massive hailstorms, we've had wall clouds, we've had beautiful supercells, we've had... I mean, it's been weird. These are the kind of events I like, though, the blip watches, because it's a lot easier to cover. Sometimes, though, it's almost a little boring. So I'm glad, again, thanks to the folks over at Stormwater Media for allowing us to use their feed. Again, just looking off to the north. We'll go back over to California for a second, because we've only popped over there once. Again, really just watching some thunder showers. There's nothing too interesting happening. We're going to see some snow in the higher elevations, but... looks like we've got some broad rotation trying here with our line. But as of right now, not too much happening. It's usually not what happens, though, Rango. That was a very, very rare one-time occurrence where it strengthened that cell significantly. I could give you a dozen other examples for every time something like that happens. I could give you a dozen times that the exact opposite does. A great one would be the Western Kentucky tornado that we had last year. Perfectly healthy supercell got killed by a line. Really, the barn stall scenario was quite a rarity, and eventually the line did end up killing it, obviously. But for a brief period of time, it did help it. What did they say? Yeah, some people have them behind the scenes, but there's also some that are, like, automatic. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Ryan's is automatic. Max's is automatic. It's got to be some Streamlabs thing that I'm not smart enough to do. But again, at this point, really just going to be watching our line. Once it swallows this cell, that's about all we have left. Oh, it's coding. I'm definitely not smart enough to do it then. Yeah, I saw that they had to be put down. It's actually quite sad. Luckily, still got cheese curd, though. So that's a bright spot. Yeah, it's a high-risk weekend in Twisted to kick off Meteorological Spring. Which actually made me think I should do another Twisted video. I thought about doing a 1-year anniversary video, but the day that was the 1-year anniversary, I just didn't have the time. Again, we've definitely got broad rotation with our line west of Lincoln, northeast of Williams. In my opinion, and I'm biased because I don't have Outbreak, but Twisted is better than Outbreak. Which I know is a crazy statement, but in Outbreak, nothing happens. I mean, it is much harder to intercept anything, to the point where it doesn't even look too fun. Twisted, I mean, you've got action every 10 minutes. I have Outbreak, and I can confirm Twisted is better than Outbreak. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, Twisted is also free. And available on every platform, because it's just Roblox. Outbark. Yes. Typhoonic Productions, yes. Mainly just with the wind threat, though, again, and we kind of already went over this area, but some damaging winds and an isolated QLCS tornado cannot be ruled out. I don't know what that drawing was. It's kind of weird. Okay. And if you're just not sitting in, we've been live for almost an hour and a half. Not quite. Outbreak isn't worth it. You know, I'd kind of have to agree with you on that. Again, I haven't played it myself, so I really don't want to say too much on that, but a game that is that expensive better be good. Obviously, there are more expensive games, but games that are more expensive than $30 should be good, which is pretty much every game at this point is more expensive than $30, but I just don't think Outbreak justifies it. Maybe if there were no other storm chasing games in existence, but I mean, you've got Twisted for free, so it's like, why are we paying $30 for Outbreak? Well, and I'm on Mac, so I can't even do Outbreak. What are you talking about, Gooseman? Are you talking about, like, the southern one? Because that one has been removed. But this one, the storm is still roaring. Alright, Summer Media is Still on our southern storm. Welcome back, Vincent. Tornado Simulator 2 is the GOAT. I actually had an unreleased video. Some of you may know this. I filmed playing terrible Roblox storm chasing games so you don't have to. By the way, a special weather statement has been issued for one of our storms in the Texas Panhandle that we've been mentioning over and over again. But playing terrible Roblox storm chasing games so you don't have to, I was done. And then at the very end of the video, I mean, I had like 5 minutes of filming left to do. I kicked the power switch to my computer, and I was like, because in my opinion, it was a really good video. The footage didn't save though, so what can you do? And I was gonna re-record it, but I was just like, it's not worth it. You can't get the same reaction for something that's already happened. Whoops. Oh, we just roasted Helicity. It's crazy. This is going to sound crazy from somebody in the weather community, but I almost think there's too many storm chasing games. To the point where it's like, because people will play one and not play any others. So if you have a friend in the weather community, there's a 99% chance that you two have a different favorite storm chasing game. And I mean, you really only need one. It's one of those things that you don't need a lot of. Like, they're not going to make 30 different, Minecrafts. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. I mean, look at Call of Duty. They did not need to make 1,000 different Call of Duties, but they did, and nobody likes the new ones. Anyway, back on topic. Still some grapple accumulation on the road there, it looks like, in Quanah, Texas. Wow, look at all that mud, that rain. We got some street flooding here, folks. We do. I mean, that is quite significant, actually. This is in Quanah, Texas. Significant street flooding, ongoing. Don't drown, turn around when driving in flooded roadways. This is what we were worried about, a cell sitting over a town for too long, and this is what happens.
Go to the Hawaiian church.
Okay, bye. Davis does muted. Thank you, guys. I'm dumb. Anyway, as I was saying, when you couldn't hear, we do have some developing rotation with the southern part of our line here. Again, it's quite broad at the moment, but it is strengthening. So, Lewis, Oklahoma, make sure that you're on the lookout here. Again, make sure you're moving indoors. We don't have the tornado possible tag or anything like that, but I would not be surprised to see that pop up soon. Davis is unmuted. This is going to be moving towards Gold and East Duke, Oklahoma. That's a pretty infamous town name. If you know, you know. Down to one severe thunderstorm warning for the southern part of our line, because as I said, when you couldn't hear, our southern cell is dying quite quickly. Yeah, some of my body language is so weird. Like, if you, like, let me just mute. I'm going to talk completely normal. Again, I'm going to mute up, but I'm going to talk completely normal, but I look like I'm having, like, a breakdown or something. Like, watch this. Dude, so yeah, we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning today here in northeastern Texas. Yeah, it's not going to be good. You genuinely, like, I mean, if you turn your sound off, I look like I'm going crazy. Wow, look at that strengthening. Yeah, we've got something that may warrant a tornado warning here soon. This is by far the strongest rotation that we've seen today. I didn't mute? Bro, this button sucks. This button sucks. What am I thinking for Wednesday? If you're talking about next Wednesday, it's far too out to say. But if you're talking about this Wednesday, mainly just going to be watching the East Coast for some damaging winds and an isolated tornado or two. Nothing too significant. But we will be likely live covering it, so make sure to subscribe with notifications on. But again, this is the strongest rotation I think we've seen so far on radar. And again, based on how these things have been progressing, we definitely could see something with this. And there we go. We now have a tornado warning. So a tornado warning has now been issued, and unfortunately, I was not prepared for this because we don't have storm in our media stream. So let's fix this. Let's throw it onto the tornado warning layout. Again, it's not matching up, but that's... Oh, wait. Yeah, it is. Okay. We're good. Again, top donors are not there. I'm sorry. We'll fix that later. But right now, we've got to focus in here, chat. So again, a tornado warning has just been issued. 4 sections of southwestern Oklahoma. First one of the day. This includes McQueen and Gald, as well as Lewis. If you're in this area, seek shelter immediately on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows. Get into an interior room. A basement or a bathroom works best. If you're in a mobile home, get out of there. Find a more substantial shelter. Mobile homes are not safe during tornadic situations. Again, a tornado warning has just been issued for sections of southwestern Oklahoma. Seek shelter immediately. Again, a possible tornado developing near Lewis. Sorry, I'm trying to update the stream title here. Again, unfortunately, we do not have any chasers on this. I don't even think Reed's on this, which is not good. Okay, again, first tornado warning of the day. I'm trying to get this all over social media, chat. Alright. So, again, this is a significant area of rotation over Lewis, Oklahoma. This is moving northeast slowly. We're going to be watching to see a debris signature pop up on this thing, and that will confirm whether or not we have a tornado on the ground. At the moment, we can't say anything that is definitive, but I definitely would not be surprised. Holy crap, look at that new scan. Yeah, we have got strong rotation west of Lewis. Okay. So again, seek shelter immediately if you are in this area. We could be talking about a potential tornado on the ground here. The concerning thing is we may not even see if there is a CC drop because we are actually a decent distance from the radar site here. Southwest Oklahoma is somewhat infamous for being a radar hole. We're about 50 miles away, so we're only going to see a debris signature if this is a strong tornado. But again, gate-to-gate shear with this is, I mean, it's at 100 miles an hour, so Definitely cannot rule out a tornado touching down with this, and potentially a decently strong one. So again, please seek shelter now. Don't wait. You gotta go. I know, maybe you've lived out here in Oklahoma for your entire life and you've seen this a million times. This tornado warning is a little bit more concerning than your average one, so please take the warning seriously and get to shelter. You're not going to lose anything if you take shelter for 30 minutes, but you could lose everything if you don't, so please go now. Don't wait. Again, too many situations like this where people think they know what's going on whenever they really don't, and they don't take the warning seriously. So again, take cover now. If you know anybody in Oklahoma, make sure to send them this stream, because we are one of the only people live for this today. Again, very grateful that Storm Hunter Media is approaching this. It's going to take them a while, though, so unfortunately we're going to have to deal with this without surface observations for a while, because not even Reed Timmer's on this, I don't think. We'll see, but I don't think he is. Yeah, he's not. Right now, he's still north of Quanah. So again, this is heading up towards Gold and McQueen. Is it Gold or Geld? Rope tornado? Is it confirmed? Holy cow, that's crazy. Okay, I don't know where Mr. Storm got this from, but he did just send this to me. It's not on the ground, and Vincent, let me know right away if it is on the ground, but this is concerning. Look at that. Very clear rope funnel cloud with this storm. If you're in this area, you got to seek shelter. This is a near confirmed tornado. Again, Vincent, if it is on the ground now, let me know, please, because not on the ground. Okay. Again, we definitely had a pretty significant funnel cloud there, though. I mean, that's a beautiful one, to say the least. Yeah, Vincent, where did you get that? Because, I mean, that is a crazy photo. If nothing else, this is going to go down as the Great Funnel Cloud Outbreak of March 2025. I feel like I've said that like 50 times. If nothing else, this is going to be blah, 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 blah. Three likes away from 50 likes if you haven't already. Make sure to like the stream and subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. We're the only ones live right now, pretty much. And we've been live for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours now. So again, make sure to support the channel by clicking that sub button. Donations are also greatly appreciated, but not required. Cactus just donated 200 memberships on Freddie McKinney's stream. That is $1,000. Bro, what? That is crazy. So again, tornado warning remains in effect here for sections of southeastern Harmon County here. This is for sections of Highway 62. It has been condensed, and the rotation is continuing to weaken. However, we're still watching this because it is somewhat significant, and we definitely could see this produce another funnel cloud and even a brief tornado as it moves towards Gold and McQueen. So if you're in this area, seek shelter now. Again, mainly just watching this one storm at this point. This is the first tornado warning and probably the only tornado warning of the day, but all it takes is one. Thank you, Sydney. Greatly appreciate it. Again, make sure to share this with anybody that you know out here in Oklahoma, because we don't have anybody covering this live other than Chasers right now. Again, just above my head there, you've got a live look from Stormwater Media. They are on this storm as we speak. And again, they're getting some crazy shots today of hail, funnel clouds, wall clouds, everything, dude. So, wind. Watching from Jacksonville, Florida. Jax, Florida? Is that short for Jacksonville, or is that an actual town? Assuming that's short for Jacksonville, yeah. Make sure to be on the lookout Wednesday for a wind threat. Again, make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you do know whenever we go live for that, because we will be live Wednesday, and it is very, very possible that we see that slight risk get extended a little bit further down to the south to include Jacksonville. Again, some damaging winds and a brief tornado cannot be ruled out. Okay. The greatest funnel that ever funneled, as it was. That's going to be the title. Yep. Okay. So again, rotation continuing to move towards Gold and McQueen. Riding up Highway 5. That's across 62. Again, if you're in this area, make sure you're seeking shelter if you've not already. We'll likely see them extend this tornado warning any minute for areas like Russell and Schroeder as well, so make sure you're ready to seek shelter in these areas. We're not saying that it's going to get issued, but there's a very good chance that it will. I mean, honestly, this was like a perfect SPC outlook. We are seeing this tornado warning smack dab bullseye in the middle of the slight risk and in the middle of the 5% tour. So, good for the Storm Prediction Center. Again, at this point, the slight risk literally includes 185,000 people. I was like, that cannot be right. It's like, this is a huge area. What's Arkansas looking like for Tuesday? Heard conflicting things. Yeah, so Arkansas, especially southern Arkansas, is going to be the area that we're really concerned about. We're going to be watching for damaging winds, but also, if we do see any discrete supercells pop out ahead of our line, we could be talking about tornadoes. Now, again, if we were to see any tornadoes, they'd be all the way down here in southern Arkansas. If you're in the northern portion of the state, I'd mainly just be looking out for some rain, lightning, wind, and some hail, but tornadoes down there in southern Arkansas. Definitely going to be possible. Nothing confirmed, Indiana, but it is very possible we had something brief. Ignore my voice cracks, please. As I said, they've been bad lately. Yeah, they've been developing Gooseman, but they're just not too impressive at the moment. They'd have to undergo some serious merging, which it's not looking like they're going to here, at least for the near future. The merging is what killed our line here. And as we said, our southern cell merged with our line, and it killed them both, so that's actually really good. Otherwise, I mean, this line was intensifying very quickly. I mean, we had significant shear, or gate-to-gate shear. 100 miles an hour, so. Again, very significant for a brief period of time there. Again, at this point, mainly going to be watching for damaging winds with this line across southwest Oklahoma. There's still rotation via Storm Chaser on X. Where did you see that funnel cloud at? I'm curious. How significant could the winds be in western/southwestern portions of Arkansas on Monday/Tuesday? Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to be talking, peaking at around 70 miles an hour, but the greater threat for southern Arkansas, again, honestly, is probably going to be, one, the power outages are going to lead to some significant problems, obviously. Trees are going to be down from those damaging winds, but tornadoes, definitely going to be a possibility across southern Arkansas. Again, throwing my hotspot over southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana after looking at dozens of soundings over the past week. Looks to be on the downward trend, however, still a significant event, similar to our February Dixie events. So stay safe. Again, make sure you have notifications on so you do get notified whenever we do go live for that event. Again, we've been live here for almost 2 hours now for a slight risk, which is not something we do all the time. But main reason we're doing that today is because there's nobody else live for this that I'm aware of, other than Chasers, obviously. It's going to rotation right over Gold or Galled at this point. Looking like they're going to let this tornado warning go. Or not continue it anyways, so that's good. Not much else to say other than what we've already been saying, though. Our Texas Panhandle storms are just continuing to be lightning makers. Really just thunder showers. Can't really call those storms, honestly. Again, it looked like something nasty was about to go down. Especially while this was over, like, the Lewis area. Like, I don't even know why it's marked as Lewis. There's not even a road called Lewis. There's obviously not a town. There's not even any buildings out there, so I don't know what this is. They've just got to get something on the map so that you can define a place in an area this rural, I guess. Is chat broken, or is just nobody saying anything? I can't tell. We're at 54 likes. Thank you guys very much. We did hit our goal of 50 this stream, so that's good. Okay, chat's not broken. We're good. I think. Again, tornado warning remains in effect here for the next 12 minutes or so. Likely that they're going to cancel it, though, as rotation is significantly weakened and it's moving out of the warning polygon anyways. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning here for that rotation, though, with the tornado possible tag and the 60-mile-an-hour wind gust tag. This is all, this is country. This is rural Oklahoma. There's Russell, but again, Russell is not a town. There's a few homes, I guess. There's Schroeder, which is one building. And, what else do we have? Reed. Reed is little corner here. So, luckily this is all very rural. My eyes hurt looking at all that red. What's the rest of March going to be like? It looks like we're going to be in an active pattern where we're talking about significant severe weather events across sections of Dixie Alley and winter storms impacting the upper Midwest. I think we're probably going to see above average March in terms of temperatures. Severe weather overall I think will be average to maybe slightly above average, especially across Dixie. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for March. Alright, tornado warning has been canceled. So we'll go back to the severe thunderstorm warning layout. And we've got our dono board back up. Look at that. Alright, we're going to change the title back here. Whoops. I accidentally turned my entire computer. Sorry, we've got to fix the title here. My keyboard's glitching. Shoot. Give me just a second here, guys. Alright, we'll get back to chat here in just a sec. Alright, title is updated. We are good. Sorry. Took longer than I thought. What is Michigan expecting on March 11th? Because all my water bottles is saying it's going to be warm. I mean, it's definitely not going to be warm. It may be warmer than usual for Michigan standards, but warm is a bit of a stretch. March 11th's still a little bit far out, though, so things could definitely change. Okay. So again, this is moving up towards Magnum. Yeah, there have been quite a few severe weather events here in southwest Oklahoma last year. And I don't think that that's going to be the case this time around. I think it's going to be near average here for pretty much the entire state of Oklahoma this season. Maybe even slightly below average, which I know is contrary to the forecast that I put out, but Convective Chronicles brought up some great points during his forecast as to why the plains in general could be below average this season. Again, I'm still maintaining that Dixie will be above average. Not changed on that, but the plains I'm less sure about. Ohio Valley and Midwest is going to be more like the wild card section that I have for the Northeast, a little more unpredictable. I mean, this season is really going to be interesting. It is such a slow start, but it looks like March is going to pick things up a little bit. But every event so far has been a bust. But then, funnily enough, the events that something does happen, like Deer Lodge, Tennessee, is on a slight risk day, 2% tour. So, again, that's been the deadliest tornado so far this year. So, I don't know, man. Are you talking about, like, the app blame? I'm using OBS. Look at that wall cloud. It's a beauty. Getting Storm Media's feed obviously right above my head. Feels weird to say, but it's true. Yeah, and that's what I try to do, Kevin. I don't really base it so much on the SBC outlook. I mean, it doesn't matter if we have a slight risk. If nothing happens, I'm not going to go live. But on a date where we have a marginal, a great example is December 27th? Whatever that stream was that popped off, we were the only one live. I don't even think Evan Freiberger was live that day. And we had significant tornadoes. So, I mean, they mostly have, Sam. I mean, we had the Whistler, Mississippi EF3. But what other event has performed to its expectations this year other than February 12th? And again, some of them will weirdly overperform. Like Oregon, great example, the other day. Florida, South Dakota, all in one day. Then we had that massive Illinois, Indiana hailstorm, which of course went severe warning multiple times after I ended my stream. You certainly can. I mean, if it say an example here, if there was a high risk, and we had one intense tornado, would you call that a bust? Because I would, personally. I don't know why I circled Southwest Ohio. Anyway, Stormwater Media here still out ahead of our line. Beautiful shot there. I'm doing it on a Mac. Chat, what do we overall think about the performance of December 28th, 2024? Do we think it overperformed, underperformed, or perfectly performed? Because I've heard all three, and I'll give my opinion after you guys decide. Because I've got a very strong view on it that I feel like not a lot of people are going to agree with, but I'll give some explanation. Oh yeah, we didn't gift any subs. Let's do that. Thank you for reminding me, Orcs. Well, let's do that, chat. Let's give 5 subs. Why not? Congratulations to the 5 lucky people about to get these gifts. Have to grab my iPad for this. I will be right back. We'll leave Stormwater Media's beautiful shot out there in El Dorado up while I'm gone. I'll be right back in about 10 seconds. We are back. Let's give some subs, everybody. Let's do it. It's been a minute, other than yesterday. I can only give 10 per month, which is quite unfortunate. But I understand it, obviously. It's just a little bit sad. I see performed well, performed, underperformed, maybe a little over. Alright, here we go, chat. Gifting 5 subs. Congratulations to everybody that just got a sub. Caleb, Mike, Jen, Anthony, and Kirsten. Congratulations, you just got gifted a Davis's Weather Slight Risk membership. Why do those all look like bot accounts? Anyway, what I was going to say is that I think it slightly overperformed. And if we didn't have Port Arthur or Bude, I would say it well underperformed. But I think it slightly overperformed. Slightly. I really think they could have gotten away with issuing a high risk. But that would have been controversial too, because there's no way they would have put it over Southeast Texas, because we didn't even have a moderate out there, or an enhanced. So, I don't know. But, Port Arthur and Bude, 2 of the largest tornadoes that we had in the final months of 2024. Both of them huge wedges, EF3. And you could even say Port Arthur is EF4. If you want to get technical, but I think December 28th slightly overperformed due to the number of tornadoes and the fact half the strong tornadoes occurred outside the significant tornado risk. Yeah. I mean, that was the interesting part about it, for sure. It was not the one Southeast Texas tornado we had that day that was impressive. We also had I call it the random Texan guy tornado. Got an Amber Alert. Okay. This is such a small community out here. We just don't get those. Gotten like 1 in the past 5 years, and it was a false alarm. I kind of wish we got more. Not because of that sounded bad. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I was just going to say I like seeing the alert. I don't let... Nope, that still sounds bad. Okay. Let's just stop. It's not what I meant. Why do I say stuff like that? That is going to get taken so far out of context. We've gained 9 subs this stream. That's insane. Thank you guys so much. I didn't even realize that until now. Well, somebody did a study, and based off of the amount of tornadoes, I don't even know what it was, but they should have issued a very small 45% hatch tour risk, and I don't know, because there's multiple ways you can calculate that, but I think a 30 they could have gotten away with, but I don't know. I think the 15% hatch works. I don't think it would be bust of the century. I mean, we would have still had Butte in that area. And several other large tornadoes. The 2019 high risk in the plains, I think, would have been more of a bust. Which, by the way, the main target area is exactly the same as today's. No, that's not what I meant. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I acknowledge that did not sound great. Bust of the century? Well, I don't know, because they didn't have a clear, good forecast back in 1925. I don't know, Sam. We almost did on May 6th. I don't think there were any others other than Barnstall. Am I wrong about that? I don't think there were. Why did I draw that? That is not at all where Barnstall is. I don't know about March 17, 2021, because I don't know enough about that outbreak. By the way, the members know what I'm talking about here, because I did a community post for them. But our next tornado documentary will not be our typical EF5, F5 series. It'll be a little bit of a special one, and I'll give you guys a hint. Again, the members know what it is exactly, but I'll give you guys a hint. It is a March outbreak. That is all I will say. So I'll let your guys' imagination run wild with that one. You guys can take guesses in the chat. I'm not going to say yes or no. It did have a PDS. Okay. Yeah, other than Barnsdall, though, May 6th did not. No PDS. There was, I mean, it did go PDS technically, but it, I mean, we had as many Tories as we did PDSs. Okay, I said I wasn't going to confirm or deny, but I've already done one on March 31st, 2023. It was horrible. It was the worst video I've ever posted because I put about 5 minutes of research because I thought I knew everything about the outbreak. I was very stupid. So don't watch it, but I've already done one. But I do need to do another one of those in the future. No, Blaine. But no, I said I wasn't going to confirm or deny, but 4 people said March 31st. That is not the one. Yeah, I'm not going to confirm or deny anything else. But yeah, that March 31st, 2023 video was awful. Again, I'm not confirming or denying anything, but I am gonna read your guys' suggestions. But again, I'm keeping my mouth shut because this is a members only perk. There's got to be some incentive for the members. Underperform. Well, it depends on what you're saying. Bust, because again, Sam brought up a good point. A bust, usually you got nothing. I'd say May 6th underperformed, but if we didn't have Barnsdall, that was a bust. But I still think it underperformed even with Barnsdall. We had one violent tornado. Everything else was nasty, weak, non-photogenic, messy tornadoes. It had the similar problem as well that March, the high risk in 21 did. Or 19, I mean, 2019, the 45% hatch. Had the same problem. The line. March 18th, 1925. What was an F5? 2020 Easter outbreak. I wish I would have streamed March 31st. But that was the day I got into weather. Yeah, other than Barnsdall, I mean, we had tornadoes, but we did not have anything even close to being considered significant, especially compared to what we were expecting. I mean, they were on the verge of issuing a 45 hatch. There was the highest level of PDS Tor watch. It was a 9590, I think it was, not 9595. But, I mean, pretty much everything was lining up for something very significant. And it all came down to storm mode that killed it all. That's crazy that was almost a year ago. I still remember that day. I remember getting home, sprinting inside, and going live immediately for some severe storms in Kansas. Okay, well, the thing is, Kevin, I didn't just use those. I only used those in videos, though, because I did not have the confidence, and rightfully so, I did not have the confidence to use anything else. Thank you, William. It was 9590. I thought it was. I knew it wasn't a 9595. By the way, whoever said March 18, 1925, we already did a documentary on that, so that is not the one. Again, the only ones that I'll deny are the ones that we already did. Everything else, though, I'm going to leave it to your guys' imagination. But I do like seeing those suggestions, or the guesses, I should say. So again, still watching some damaging winds approaching the Magnum area with the northern extent of our line here, and then again some damaging winds intercepting, storm area media is intercepting right now on the southern part, down by the Quanah area northward, as into foreshadow a certain event. Ooh, that's a good question. I would say, here's what I'd say. I'd say just because a year starts slow doesn't mean it can't finish fast. Because that was the exact case of 2024. Compared to 2023, 2024 started out horrible. But that all turned around April 26th. That was the day where things really blew up. And I have a feeling 2025 is going to do that as well. It's going to be a slow starter, and there's going to be one day that blows up, and from that point forward, everything blows up. I will say the end of 2024 was kind of lackluster. It was more mid-2024. You mean green field, Blaine? Pause. Oh my gosh. You guys are so dirty-minded. Black Creek, Georgia, EF5 damage, but no contextual to support it, so didn't get EF5. There's a lot of them that are like that. Again, I think if they ever do throw out another EF5 rating in our lifetimes, it is going to be so unbelievably controversial. I think no matter what it is, I think even if it's so obviously an EF5, people are going to freak out and say it's horrible that they give that an EF5, but they don't give Mayfield or Valonia or Greenfield or Rolling Fork. They don't give any of those an EF5, but they give this an EF5. I mean, I just feel like it's going to be that way. By the way, at some point, even though, again, it's not an EF5, I do want to do a documentary on Bassfield So-So. I posted about that on my community tab. Yesterday I did the Guess This Tornado. Oh, it was Bassfield So-So. That was me, Anthony. I know it's weird that I can give myself memberships. But yeah, congratulations. Prepare yourself for the year that's about to fuel your ambition even further. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. 2019 was a weird year. Very active in certain times of the year. I don't know. And 2021 for that matter as well. 2019 and 2021 stand out as some of the weirdest years in recent tornado history. And 2020 was just kind of average, I'll be honest. I mean, it was above average, but nothing unbelievable. Bassfield Sosa was the largest tornado of 2020. And then there were the Tennessee wedges. What else did we have in 2020, chat? What else did we have that was like crazy? We had some big Illinois events. Big Plains events. Not as much as usual, though. Plains were a little bit more quiet in 2020. It was focused a little bit further to the east. They made up for it in 2024, though. It was above average, but not by much whenever you look at actual tornado counts. First tornado that I covered that was violent. I mean, violent, like EF4 plus violent, that would be Elkhorn. However, technically, at that point in time, Elkhorn was not given an EF4 rating. So I guess it would have been Barnsdall because I wasn't live for Marietta, Oklahoma, because I was at my grandma's house spending the night. That was the same reason I didn't go live for the Georgia-Florida outbreak. I mean, there are so many events where I'm just hanging with grandma. You know, family first. Tornado that's ever stuck with me after covering it. Elkhorn, Alta Vista. What's one that really stuck with me? Barnsdall. What else? I didn't cover Robinson Sullivan, but I watched it as it happened and right after it happened. Port Arthur. Yeah, you could make that case, Sam, and I could definitely see that. And at the time, it was believed that Sulphur was going to go EF4, and Marietta was not going to. But that did not end up happening once that Dollar Tree got found. Do a Smithville documentary? I definitely will at some point. Again, the goal with that series is literally to cover every F5 EF5 ever. So, at some point, we will do that. It may take me until I'm 25 years old, but we're going to cover all of them. We've got 5 done so far, 5 in the bag. Only 96 more to go. Literally going to be an over 100 episode long series where each video takes at least a week worth of research and then a week worth of filming, week worth of editing. I'm trying to make those videos better and better each time. And again, I'm kind of broadening where I'm doing more than just EF5 documentaries. I'm doing outbreak documentaries now a little bit more. I did the Christmas one on Christmas Day. And again, see, I can't say what it is, but the day that the outbreak that I'm going to be documenting next, I want to post that video on the day that it happened. Just X amount of years later. Again, it's so hard to say stuff like that without accidentally revealing it, but... What's the biggest forecasting bust you've ever had in your own opinion? What would it be? That is a really good question. I do want to answer it. We had a 10% hatched in New Mexico, and we had one tornado. There was also several huge Dixie busts last year in April and March. The moderate risk in the Ohio Valley, a lot of people will tell you that that was crazy. Not as crazy as I thought it was going to be. On April 1st or whatever. Yeah, I've had a lot of big gaffes like that. We all make mistakes, but we learn from them, you know? Yeah, that's actually funny. There was only a 1 month period of time where we had a tornado emergencies in 2024, but we had like 15 of them in 1 month. That is crazy. It wasn't actually 15. It was close. We had one like every few days at that time. Some days we'd have multiple. April 26th. I think that was the only day we had multiple other than Western Kentucky, which would have been May 21st. I did, Mr. Twister. Yeah, the next F5 documentary video, I'm still not sure what it's going to be. I want to run a vote poll like always, but I don't know what it's going to be yet. So, the Severe Thunderstorm warning has just expired in Oklahoma, so I think we can probably end this stream off here. If you guys did enjoy this coverage, make sure to like and subscribe. We were live for 2 hours for this. But yeah, I think we helped some folks out today, so I'm very glad. Again, huge thank you to Stormrunner Media for allowing us to use their feed. Huge thank you to Blaine, Bike, and Alan for the generous donations. Again, I will see you guys all tomorrow in our next stream, where we will be covering some damaging winds and tornadoes across sections of the Southern Plains. And obviously, we'll be live Tuesday and Wednesday as well. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys all in